started watching that new not Denzel. There's a new dinosaur show on Netflix narrated by Morgan Freeman. You seen that?
Nah.
Kind of fire. I fell asleep to it earlier. I got to go back to it.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of people doing those, like animal nature kind of. Was he like narrating or?
Yeah, so he's narrating it. It's basically like a whole animated show of the dinosaurs and those times, and he's just narrating it. Something about Morgan Freeman's voice that you could just fall asleep to.
I mean, he was there.
He was there?
It seemed like it.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying he seemed like he'd been around forever.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think Morgan Freeman been old since I was a kid. It's like ever since I've seen him, he was fucking old. If you go back to his older movies, like it's like, damn, I've never seen Morgan Freeman that young. Yeah, it's called The Dinosaurs. Speaking of the nature stuff, Will Smith also just did this whole nature, like outdoor show.
Exploring the world.
I think the dinosaur one is actually produced by Steven Spielberg. He's 88. Holy fuck. Yeah, Morgan Freeman's 88.
Hey, getting up there.
Yeah, man. How you doing? What up, Drew?
What's up, man?
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, look up. When was his last episode, Karen? We had Drew on. It was over 2 years ago. It might have been 3. I guess just if there's some new people here that don't know who you are. So you are the founder of Tidewater Waves, which is a interview platform based out of Norfolk. I think you film all your stuff at Slover Library. And you actually started interviewing people before me. I think it was like a year before me. When did you start?
2018.
2018.
And really co-founder. Shout out my guy, Antonio. You know, my boy.
Where's he at? I don't think I ever met him.
He's out here. Yeah, we both from out here. And, you know, we just ended up, life, you got to keep your foundation straight. So work, all that got in the way.
Oh, hey, is that you? You're probably watching the podcast right now. Before we get back to the episode, I just want to tell you about our new sponsor. We're here at Custom Empire at 3420 West Mercury Boulevard in Hampton, Virginia. And I just want to show you around the shop real quick. Walk in, they got 4Gs, this is a little bit out of my price range, I'll be honest, but it's available. Are those BBs? Are these actually BBs? Custom Empire is a locally owned and operated business here in Hampton. If you guys didn't know, our co-producer for the show, Karen, actually works here as well. What up, Karen? Custom Empire also offers financing, only $50 down, no credit needed. You jack real good, bro. You're really good at jacking, man. Wheels, tires, lifts, lowering. Stop by Custom Empire, they'll get you right. Tell them Off-Road sent you.
But yeah, so like around 2018, and I just continued on with the interviews and, we just kind of pivoted from there. But
similar. So yours was October 2022. What? Has that been almost 4 years then?
Or
definitely over 3 years then.
That's crazy. Yeah, 3.5.
Well, similar with me, this podcast started out with crew episodes. In the beginning I had like 4 or 5 of my friends that were up here and we were just talking shit. And then it progressed to me just doing interviews because people just kind of stopped showing up, Was yours, so I know the way you run your platform is you're not even on camera. You kind of run yours more like a Vlad TV type thing.
Everybody says that, yeah.
Because that's like the biggest example of that.
Right, exactly. But it makes
did you
sense.
always do it like that?
I did, no, actually like the first 2 or 3 interviews, like I said, shout out to my boy Antonio. He was doing the actual interviews like on camera. I was always
you're like the producer, like the editor of everything.
Yeah, facilitator. I was more focused on, the video production. That's kind of my strong suit, my forte, what I want to do in terms of like brand building. But like I said, in terms of when that shift happened, then I started to, take on that interview role, which I never really, just kind of walked into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, never had it planned out. Yeah, so.
A lot of times that'd be the best stuff. Like that stuff that's not planned kind of just happens. Like in that, I think you have to be comfortable with that, doing anything creative, because things aren't going to go the way you usually plan it. A lot of times for us, like if we're doing a skit or some type of content, things might go off of how we originally planned it, but usually it ends up leading us to a better idea. It ends up being even better.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say that that's kind of been my whole arc with this. I didn't really come into it with, all right, I'm going to do ABC. You know, it was a lot of, you know, shifts and adjustments, you know, because with my, like, you know, strong suit being like creative and kind of navigating that space, you know, I really welcomed, you know, not really having a straightforward way with it. You know, it gave me the space to be able to create and be adjustable, I guess you would say. So, you know, I do appreciate like the pockets, like you say, that open up. It's like, all right, I'm gonna just pivot pretty much.
Were you always doing it at Slover?
Yeah. Shout out to the Slover Library. The Slover, you know, I guess they've kind of gone back and forth between branding. Now it's more of, it's a library, but it's like an event space. You know, the new management over there.
Do they let people rent it out for stuff?
Yeah, so they have what's like a creative studio. So they got the production, they got the sound. If you want to go in there, it's really like a learning space. You know, get in there and make music. Two great, you know, sound booths. Do podcasts. They have people to go in there, set up a little camera and film, and 3D printing, all of that. So, yeah,
it's not easy getting a brand off the ground, especially being by yourself. You know, like me and you, we kind of have similar shows, right? And you're really doing like 10 jobs. You know, all these things. If you were at a bigger, like, there's companies like the news or like there's these bigger organizations that do similar things that we do, but they have a lot of people doing it. Like, each thing is a different job. You're a host. You're on camera. You are editing it. You got sound. You got people that contact guests and book the guests and marketing. It's like all these different things that you have to wear all these different hats in the beginning to like get your brand off the ground. It's not an easy thing to do. And especially me personally, I don't know if you went to school for any of this. I didn't go to school for media or journalism. I'm just winging it and figuring things out as I go, doing what feels right to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you know, speaking of the hats, really the biggest one I would say is, and this is kind of funny me saying it, being like the face. You know, you kind of really have to be the one, like you say, facilitating and making sure that you're still, even if it's not on camera, you know, promoting your brand in person. You know, so it's like a lot of networking that goes into that and just being personable and, you know, getting outside of that, you know, comfort zone, really.
Well, I guess it's different for me because I am on camera. So when the people see me, they know it's me. Right. But I guess, I'm assuming, but I feel like you probably meet a lot of people that don't even know that you're Tidewater Waves.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't see you on camera.
Yeah, and it was kind of structured that way. You know,
you like it that way?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not really like an avenue like I'm going for one or the other. It's really just organic. You know, I meet a lot of people out, and you know, of course, grew up out here, so you know, it's just kind of navigating just everyday life. It's, hey, what do you do? You know, regular conversations. Oh, okay, yeah, Tidewater Waves, and it kind of goes from there. But yeah, I would say I try to be intentional about being out and, you know, really, you know, being, you know, a part of the community networking. So I don't really try to do too much since I'm already off camera, like, you know, on camera or, you know, if it's like if I meet somebody and they know, but it's more of like a brand. I always said it was like a brand and a platform for the people. You know, it's like truly like a channel. And really that was another thing I was trying to do, is build it up to where, and I've had like a few different people come up there and do shows and stuff to where it's like other people are able to utilize what Tidewater Waves is, and then
it's another person that's asking questions, like doing their own interview show.
Yeah, that and just other different, you know, pieces of content, you know, so like really producing. Yeah, and that's
I mean, I like going out to network and hang out with like the creative crowd. It is to network and meet people and like so people can see me, because it's kind of like marketing if you go outside and people see you. But for that, it's less for that, and it's more of just I like being around the creative crowd. Like I'd much rather go to a creative event than go to some random club or random bar where it's just the general public. It's just more enjoyable for me. I like to know that like I'll know somebody there, or you know, we're all kind of on the same page. So you started in 2018. Now it's 2026, so it's 8 years later. And any thoughts on just the evolution of our scene in this time?
Yeah, it's real dope to see that and it was already kind of bubbling, before, because it was at super spike in like 2013-ish, but I wasn't here.
Where were you at?
DC. Yes, for our school.
Okay.
Yeah, went to Howard for advertising and ended up coming back here. So, I had a lot of people that were like kind of put me on to, yo, this is going on, this and that. So like from when I got back, like 2017, 18 until now, it's like, really amazing to see just all the new faces that come and go and people that stay consistent. All the talent that people have, like curated and poured into, over the years, and with something to water, just other like random creative, pop-ups. I think it's really trending in a great direction.
Me too. It seems like our scene is finally getting some type of infrastructure, some type of like foundation. I think the foundation is built now. And what I mean by infrastructure is like we have a bunch of things out here that you can develop as an artist. Mm-hmm. So you can start out as a new artist. You just start making music.
Yeah.
You have studios. There's producers you can get beats from. There's open mics. You can start going to open mics and getting your performance better, meeting people, networking.
Right.
Then from there, you can start throwing your own shows. There's a bunch of different size venues that you can start out at a smaller venue that you can maybe sell 50 tickets, get 50 people there. You can go up to like the Norva, which is a few thousand. Is it a few thousand at the Norva? I might be lying about that. It might be like 500.
No.
Is it like 2,000 at the Norva?
Yeah, it's definitely like thousands for sure.
So there is those levels of venues that you can have room to grow, right? And I think that a lot of people in our scene, they overlook that. They want to go to other areas and do things, but me, I've always been like, our scene is my playground. This is the court. Mm-hmm. You can really perfect your craft here, get good. And then not only that, you can also see how the dynamics of a scene works. Mm-hmm. Now, if you figure out your thing in Virginia, you could take that to Atlanta or LA or New York, and it won't be like you're starting from scratch because you know how a scene works. Mm-hmm. There's key players, there's platforms, there's creatives, there's artists, there's media, and it all kind of works the same. It's just these other areas. It's like a little on like a bigger scale.
Yeah, it's a rhythm. It's definitely flow that anywhere, and people don't realize that, just how we're local to out here. And we're like, oh, Atlanta's better, Chicago. I was just having this conversation earlier. But we look at these big markets, and people from there are saying the same thing about, where they're from, because they're so used to it. Yeah. So it's kind of like a numbness that comes with it. But
Atlanta artists want to get out of Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly.
LA artists want to get out of LA.
Yep, and that could be going anywhere. So, I mean, you definitely have to expand. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, like, market, ecosystem, when it comes down to like the flow of things. I think we're kind of getting a lot more organized. It's a lot more, I guess, communication between people that's out here and really taking their craft serious in the leadership. I'm loving it. People are kind of bridging that gap when it comes down to, even funding. Shout out to Off-World Sessions, when Carrie Ann was talking about that, just with, you got to have your business in order, and you also have to know what speak the language pretty much, know what you're talking about, be able to access certain funds, and in turn, hey, look, this kind of keeps the flow of the business side of things and allowing leadership to see and, want to pour into.
Mm. Yeah, no, definitely. Excuse me, shout out to Carrie Ann. She's the one that helped us get the funding from the DNC for Off-World Sessions. Mm. Helped us make that happen. Her, the Contemporary Arts Network, Jay. Yeah, and I think it's also about appreciating local stuff, yeah, we all want to make millions of dollars. We want to throw these festivals with thousands and thousands of people. That'll be fire. But even like what we did at Off-World Sessions, that was fire to me. We had like 300-some people there. We packed the building out. Everybody had a good time. I don't know if adding another 300 people to that would have made it any different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that level of what we did there, that was great.
No, it was perfect.
You know what I mean? And
well executed.
if you went to Off-Road Sessions, you were fire. You were at the very first one, so we appreciate you.
For
and
sure.
also, I want to thank you for you kind of made Off-Road Sessions happen, bro.
Nah, man.
People don't know, but originally Off-Road Sessions started out with Drew telling me, I don't even know if I told you this. I think I did, but he's like, bro, we should do an event. And so he kind of got that in my mind because I kind of wasn't even thinking about that. And at first we were trying to do something at the Air and Space Museum in Hampton. That ended up not working out. We kind of pivoted to assembly and did all that, and it worked out well. So thank you for kind of pushing me to do that. And I think we're still going to try to make something happen at the Air and Space Museum. So we're going to try that again.
Oh, no, for sure.
But I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, nah, I appreciate you for being open. Because where my mindset was at was I knew we had to do something together. We talk about people, in music doing features, and I mean, really, it's a good group of, people that do media out here. But everyone's kind of in their own lane. So, I appreciate you for even being open to that conversation and executing it.
No, for sure. And that inspired me past that event. So I want to start doing more real life activations. Yeah. Because I think what we do is we're building our scene's online presence, right? But now I want to bring that energy to real life. So all this, like this whole summer, I want to do different things. Starting with tomorrow, me and Bobby will be doing the Bradley and Cooper meet and greet at the mall. Yeah. So we're just going to do a bunch of these different, I don't even know what all the ideas are because I haven't thought of them, but it's going to be just random stuff like that. Like that's a meet and greet with these two characters that we created. So there's going to be a bunch of different things where it's not just it might not be a actual show where there's like performances or like a DJ spinning, but it's going to be these different like off-key little activations that you can just pull up to for free and just be a part of. So I want to do that all summer. And that kind of stemmed from these conversations that we had about Off-Road Sessions.
Yeah. Or now I appreciate hearing that. And, just, people been asking me over the years, are you going to do a show? Are you going to...
Was that your first event too, or have you done anything before that?
Shout out to Carrie, and I'm trying to think of others, but yeah, I've done some things at Selden, and done some things with Slover. Yeah, so it wasn't really like my first event, but I think it was the first of that kind of structure, and yeah, I'm trying to think right now. But
keep thinking about that. But I guess before I forget, you mentioned that you went to Howard for advertisement. Like I said, I didn't go to school for this. I'm just figuring out what works for me as I go, trying to keep my eye on the landscape of the internet, see what people are interested in, what people are like, going towards. Any takeaways you have from your actual like degree in advertising? Like what stuck with you from that?
I wish I had a degree.
Oh, you dropped out?
Well, dropped out's a harder word. I didn't finish though.
How long did you go?
I went the full. Well, I finished 3 years. I went the full like 4. Trying to get in, get out, but I was just too lackadaisical with the in classroom. I didn't really take that as serious as I should have.
What, were you just like partying out there?
Partying, yeah, I was shout out to the Playmakers. They still doing their thing. The guys that I started with up in DC. They're like events. It started from like on campus, freshman parties, and it grew to as we went on into the years of college, like outside, after parties, all of that. So I was just really not, really overly completing the work. I was doing the work, I was getting through, but I wasn't, really taking everything as serious as I should have there. But my key takeaway would be, is it, networking. I was big on out of the classroom. I say that I got my degree outside the classroom. But yeah, just really the expansion of the mind, like meeting people from, all different areas. In terms of advertising itself, I would say my foundation is like, in design and production. So, I did learn some great things about the psychology behind advertising, marketing, and, just really putting certain things together that make sense. Finding a lane and running with it.
Yeah, I think story is a big part of marketing and advertising. I was watching some video earlier. This guy had this like 15-minute video talking about it, and he said a lot of things, but one thing that stuck with me is when you hook people, like when you if you have a great lead to your story, you kind of leave it open-ended where people don't know how it's going to end. And like in their brain literally like makes them have to know how this thing ends. Like it's hard to like, forgot what example he used, but it was like guy gets $1 million and falls through because of this or something like that, where it's like, now you're like, okay, like why did his $1 million fall through? You know, so it's even content, even down to making a random TikTok video, like everything has story in it. You have to know how to tell the story of your product in like an interesting and intriguing way for people to care about it. I don't know. I was just on live before you got here for like an hour talking to, so I named my live, Virginia is missing ... So it's like, okay, what is Virginia missing, right? There's like a bunch of people tapping in, and a lot of the main things I saw was people saying that Virginia has this culture of hate, like we're all hating on each other, which I disagree with, that we don't have a culture. I also disagree with that. I think our culture is just diverse. Whereas if you go to like California, a lot of people that are there were probably born there and like they were there for generations. And so they all kind of have the same slang and they're all kind of dressed the same and do everything the same. But then you come to Virginia where it's a melting pot of all different people. A lot of us weren't born here. Military area, so a lot of people are in and out always. And what that leaves you with is a bunch of people that are just different and themselves. And you can't really put your finger on it because everybody's different. And some people might look at that as a weakness, like a marketing weakness. It's hard to market it because it's so different. But I look at that as a strength, where it's like you don't know what to expect. So every time you hear about something from Virginia, it's going to be different than what you heard last time. I think that's fire.
Yeah, no, I do too. And I agree with the point of, you know, like the flow. It's just ever changing pretty much. And I think that that makes for a very strong, you know, economy when it comes down to, you know, meeting people. It's not the same redundant, you know, thing every time. So, you know, when you look at it like that, and it's beautiful for the people that are from here and able to tap into it and that are still here, because it's like, you know, if you're doing it and, you know, really engaging with the area the right way, then your stuff can travel without you having to really physically travel. And of course, technology has kind of bridged that gap, but you meet somebody, and that's what college taught me as well, you know, really lean into those connections, you know, because you got somebody that's from here stopping through your hometown, going here, you know, is really allows for a great learning experience as well. And yeah,
I didn't go to college, but I mean, that's what they say about like frats and stuff like that. It's really, you're just building these lifelong connections with people that can help you out in different ways, or you can help each other over the years.
Structure.
Yeah, it has some type of structure.
Yeah, people need structure and, you know, community. You know, as much as people want to, you know, be the number one or be in the spotlight, everyone needs somebody. Everyone needs, you know, to be a part of or feel like they're a part of something, or else, you know, you're just going to be out here kind of like a wanderer, which is nothing wrong with kind of doing your own thing. But, you know, just having that sense of community, I think, is very important.
I think it gives you energy when you're a part of a community, when you're a part of something bigger than yourself and you don't feel like it's all about you. I think it gives you energy to go harder, and it makes it more fun. Like, it's just boring creating by yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
What I mean? Like, who wants to win by themselves?
Yeah, you gotta stay tapped in. You gotta know what is going on. You know, you gotta know not really what's hot, because you can make what's hot, but you know, you gotta keep up pretty much like with the times.
Somebody had an example on Instagram the other day. Some dude made a reel, and he was like, it's like he was like, eat dinner by yourself every day for a whole year and see how you feel. It's boring. You don't have nobody to break bread with.
Yeah.
You don't have anybody to talk to. You don't have anybody to share your experiences with. I've never been one of those people where it's like, yo, I have to be the only one winning, or like, yo, this person is winning and I'm hating because it's not me. I've never been that way. My whole life.
Same here.
I mean, I enjoy seeing other people win. I get motivated by it, inspired by it. I think that's another thing we're talking about on the live. Been saying this shit for like months now. I think the biggest problem in Virginia, and like once we figure out the solution to this, it's going to change everything, is we haven't figured out how to market to the general public. It's 1 million people in this area that don't know about us. You don't have to be worldwide, nationwide to make a successful living off your craft. If you figure out how to reach these 1 million people out here, they will love you. If you're good, you have to be good. If you figure out how to reach them and you're actually good, they will support you, and they'll also have more pride in what you do than some famous person that they've never seen.
Right.
Because they can see you in real life. They can look you in the eye. They can shake your hand. You can have a personal connection with the people out here in a way that Drake can't, or Youngboy can't. You know what I mean? So that can set you apart in their mind.
Yeah, that's a very hard skill set, though.
What?
You know, for most people.
Marketing to people?
Yeah, connecting. You know, because a lot of people, you know, want it, but it's, how do I do that? How do, like you say, there's so many people, there's so many different, you know, parts of this area, and it's interesting because, you know, we always talk about us divided, and, you know, we got this city, that city, but it's so close, though, you know, so it's like, I mean, you could go over here to one spot and just start, you know, networking, I mean, connecting, and even just, you know, forget pulling up physically with like Instagram, you know, send your stuff out, just talk to people. And I think that's really like a lost art as well with technology and us being able to, you know, kind of connect with people, but not really connect.
This shit was made for us to connect, but we don't even use it for that.
For that, yeah. Yeah, you still need that like in-person kind of element, you know, so you still do got to get out and, you know, get some fresh air, you know, even if you are reaching people online. That's
what sets you apart. Like I said, if I'm following 5 artists that are equally dope on social media, and then one of them, like I see in real life, they're from my city, I go to their shows, I can meet them. Like I think that makes that person special in my mind. Like I have a closer connection to that person. And I mean, I understand some people, a lot of creators are introverts. They really don't either like or know how to talk to people and like build with them. They're kind of just like to themselves. But I think you got to get out of your comfort zone. And like in a day in 2026 in today's age, it's all about this digital media. But I think that you can really combine the new age digital with the old age, like boots on the ground. And if you put those together, I think that could be powerful.
Yeah, no, for sure. You definitely need both elements. I mean, that balance, that healthy balance is, you know, pretty much the foundation, you know, because you really can't have one without the other. So say if you do blow up, right, on social media, how do you capitalize? I mean, you can make your money, stay in your house, but you're still going to have to get out. You know, say if you're doing music, you know, you don't have to, but like perform. Or say you got a successful.
If you're doing music, you got to learn how to perform. And you got to do shows. Because that's where your money's from.
Yeah.
If you become successful, I mean.
But like up there, yeah.
Yeah. You have, that's how you're going to make money is your shows. You're not going to make money off streaming because the corporations that own the streaming market, they kind of shut that down for right now. I don't think it'll be like this forever. I think we're going to figure out a way to for artists to make more money with their streams. But I mean, you're going to sell merch and then you're going to do shows. And partnerships with like businesses. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you feel about like, I guess people grasping that concept out here? Because I mean, as we're talking, it seems very simple, but like how do, you know, people
which concept
implement just kind of like, you know, doing it. I mean, everyone has something, you know, that.
Well, I think that we're talking about 2 different concepts. So one of them is going out and networking and meeting people and promoting your stuff in the real world. And then the other one is, like I was saying before, is reaching the general public with your marketing. That's still online. I mean, that's online, you know. I don't know. For the second one, reaching the people online with your marketing, I haven't figured that out yet. The only really answer I have for that right now is pay attention to what's happening on social media. like what trends are going viral, what's working for others, and like what other people are like like not consume, like what other people are used to consuming, like the type of content or the way the content is packaged. Look at that, study that, try to implement that a little bit, because I think packaging your product differently can make a big impact. I think I was talking about this on live too. You can make a music video, right? Let's say you have a music video you just dropped, and it's just a clip of your music video. That does whatever numbers it does. Now you can take a clip of that music video, maybe build a story around it. Let's say instead of just dropping a music video, you can be like, yo, build a story around that video where it's like, I don't know, whatever's having to do with that. It could be something funny. It could be something serious. Build a story around that, like a little storyline. You have like a headline that like what it's about. Now you make a meme with it. Make a meme with the clip of the video and then like maybe something else. Now you're like adding depth to this music video and like you're building a story around it and packaging it differently for people to like really get hooked to it.
Yeah.
So I think the way we package our stuff and present it means a lot. And we're trying to do stuff like that too. Like go to our Instagram, Kieran. Like we never, like I just started doing this type of stuff this year. Let me show you this. So today, for example, Good Society interviewed me at Off-Road Sessions and they put up the clip today. It's on our Reels. Go to the Reels first. So he just posted this like reel of, it's top right, yeah. He just posted a reel, and he's just interviewing me on this reel. Okay, cool. He collabed with me. I accepted it. Has like 2 comments on it. Today was kind of like a slow news day, honestly, but that's not the point. Then, so what I do, go back to the main page, not the reels. What I do is I take a clip from that music video, and then I make this. So it's like I'm just making this kind of this headline that might make people want to click on it. I make this little meme edit, this fucking AI edit, put me next to Pablo Escobar.
That's AI?
That was real. I was actually there with bro. I was selling weed and interviewing people, Virginia podcaster on pandemic days. Then I go over, I have a little clip of me talking about that part. Go over again. I made a little AI, me chilling with Pablo. So that's the same exact music or same exact interview clip, but I just added more to it. I built this kind of headline around it, this storyline around it. So that's kind of an example of what I'm talking about.
You do that well, you know. Like
but I just started doing that. Like go back to our page, Kieran.
Like, you know, I mean, even like the skits
we didn't used
to
do those. Like you see, I'm doing the headlines and stuff. I didn't used to do that. I'm just adding context to the content. So I think that's a great example of that.
Yeah, but I mean, even before you were actually implementing, you know, you like with the promotion of the interviews. Now, for me, I just put it out. You know, I don't really do the extra, you know, promotion, which I probably should look more into doing. But like, you know, I'm saying the average person or the person that could implement that, you know, they kind of make it harder than what it is, you know, and even like for me, it's just, or don't do it and then wonder why
you need
your
to start
stuff
doing
is.
it. Yeah, you need to start doing it.
Yeah, just chopping it up.
I mean, to me, bro, I'm just like, I just want to do more. So if I'm doing the same thing for a year, and I mean, we try out different things, and some things like end up working, so they'll stick, and I'll continue to do those, but I'll add other things onto that. I think that's important. You can't, like, you have to try different things in marketing, and a lot of this is just like trial and error.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess on the second point of going out and meeting people and talking to people, that's kind of tough too, because you just kind of have to be comfortable with yourself, man. Like, and know that there is a community out there and there is people that will be on the same wave as you. They'll want to connect with you. And just try it. Like, don't knock it till you try it. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, don't assume everybody's a hater. Don't assume everybody wants to see you fail. Like, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't let your past perspective, you know, influence your future when it comes down to like change it. You know, I mean, like, just shut it off, shut it down. I mean, everyone has something that they could kind of, you know, allow them to just kind of harp on. But I, like you were talking about with people saying it's a lot of hate, it's a lot of, you know, just no room for growth out here, you know. I mean, it's really it's really a new day every day for you to, like, it's a blank canvas out here. It's really space for people to create something new. So as much as we're complaining about it not being, readily available or certain structure, that makes it a lot more open to pick up that pen and start to draw whatever story you want to write for, the area or for yourself. So I think people just, like you're saying, just get creative and make a new way, because we wake up and see, something new going viral on social media. Why didn't I think of that? Like Shorty with the Dr. Pepper jingle.
Yeah.
You can't really make that up. I mean, that's crazy. Like,
I think she got 2 million
in
for
her
that.
dream. Yeah. And it's like, you got to be organic. You got to be authentic to yourself. You can't look and what's the best way, what's the perfect way to do it. You just got to be you.
I mean, a lot of times the most raw thing is gonna be what wins and what people gravitate to.
Because you can't tamper with raw and authenticity. Because if you sit up here and tell me something and I thoroughly believe in it, it's kind of like with somebody's like, I'm doing this. You got to make up your mind. You can't try it and like, nah, that's not gonna work. You just got to do it till it works. But if you stop, then it really wasn't authentic to begin with. Because if it's something you thoroughly believe in and it's, there, then you can find a way. And you can find somebody that thinks like you or takes to your product. You just got to keep going, really.
Something that I think is key to the success that we've had, and I think is something that creatives need to know from day one, is you just have to be comfortable with failure.
Mm-hmm.
I've put up thousands of pieces of content. Mm-hmm. And I still haven't blown up like I want.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're one of those people that, because it's hard because you're invested in the stuff. When you're a content creator or whatever you do, like you're invested in your product, you're invested in it. Like, so when people don't like appreciate it how you want them to, or it doesn't get the feedback you want, it does hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you have to not take things personal and be comfortable with putting something out, it not doing what you want to do, and going back to the drawing board, and try it again. Because from what I see, that's the biggest setback that people have. They're uncomfortable with putting themselves out there, and then they just want to be the greatest from day one, and that's just not realistic.
Yeah,
whatever you start, you're gonna be trash in the beginning. That's normal. It's the people that continue to show up every day, every year after year. They're the ones that become great. I saw a quote that was cool. It was like, the difference between good and great is commitment. You gotta keep going, bro. At the end of the day with this shit, because a lot of people just get discouraged and they fail because they quit. That's their biggest thing.
Yeah, and I've failed many a times. I mean, not even just with media, but in life. And I think it's the resilience that makes you stronger, allows you to have that thicker skin to pursue whatever it is that you want to do. Because it's like, all right, you learn to adjust. You learn to, whether it's taking constructive criticism, connecting with the people, like seeing, okay, this works for this person, this works for this day, this time. It really comes over time. It's like what is it? Your 10,000 hours. You put it in, and just keep going, and you figure out like, okay, well, I remember this right here. Use your memory for good and not to, weigh you down.
Yo, speaking of 10,000 hours, Karen, can you actually look up how many days is 10,000 hours? Because I've heard that saying. Let's see how long of a time this actually is. How long is 10,000 hours? 416 days. So you really need way more than 10,000 hours, honestly, because that's only like a year. You know what I'm saying? You really need like 100,000 hours.
Well, nah, that's committed. You can't count sleep and all that. So that's
you can't count sleep. True.
So if you're, let's say,
it's like 2 years. You're sleeping a third of the day, right? So it's like 3 years. Technically, like 3 years.
Calculate it with 8 hours of workday. So if you're really, you're working 8 hours. I appreciate it, because I was trying to figure out how to put that.
It's like a third.
Sentence.
If you're working a third of the day, so that's technically like 3 years, I guess. What you need more than 3 years. So you really need like 10 years. I think to really perfect a skill, it takes like 10 years, bro.
So that's the days. divided by 365.
1,250. It's like 3 years. Maybe 4, close to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this shit takes a long time, bro. Like, you see people that are doing things and that are successful and they make it look easy, but that's because they're good. When you're good at something, you make it look easy, but it's really fucking hard.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that because it's my favorite word recently, discipline. You know, it's very hard to really stare at discipline because that requires patience. So it's like you're putting in all this work. I mean, imagine going to work, you know, every day and you got weekends off, so 8 hours a day. And, you know, for a month, I mean, that'll weigh on you. So it's just like, I mean, it's tough to face the reality of, delayed gratification or, all right, well, I'm going to get there soon. You wake up tired one day. You wake up, it's like, man, I ain't feeling this. You're going to have to push through regardless. So it's just like.
What was the hardest point for you in building your brand? Like, was there a certain year or a certain moment where it felt hard to continue for you?
Nah, it was never hard because I never, like, you know, set like a failure goal for myself. You know, it's just I enjoy what I do. And I enjoy the learning process of what I do, you know, because I never went into it like I have to become, you know, or be as successful or have as many interviews as I have now. So I've had some like breaks in there and, you know, some downtime to restructure things. But yeah, the hardest part, I mean, if I did have to answer that question would be, you know, I guess really figuring out like growth, and I still haven't figured that out. You know, as much work as I've put in, and I haven't been intentional. I can be honest about that. But like, you know, in terms of the views, because that's not something I really care about. I care about the, you know, the production, the product. So as long as I get these interviews out there, and I could be better at guiding people in terms of, because, well, one thing I do want to have this on the record is that when I do my interviews, you know, it's really more so for that person to also be able to like utilize for other things. And shout out to Zell2 Trail. You know, we used a clip. Well, he used it, a clip of an interview I did with Tyzilla and put it on his
album.
Yeah, on his album.
He used some clips from my pod too.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. And I fuck with
that's hard. They said it, not me. Out now. Zell2 Trail.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Salute again. But the AI usage of what you did and putting together, you know.
With the suit and all that?
Yeah, that was fire.
Yeah, because he sent me a picture of me, like, with the suit. So I just did some AI.
Yeah, put it together.
I've been enjoying incorporating AI into my creative process. Mm-hmm. Because most of the time when I use it, I don't use just the AI. I'll do an actual video, whatever the idea for the content is, and then I'll have a little bit of AI in it, which I think is cool. Some people don't like it. Some people are just super anti-AI.
AI is the wave, but I know I start to ramble, but to close that point out.
Yeah, you said for people to use the clip and stuff for other things.
Yeah, it's to like so say you're pursuing whatever you're pursuing. It's like, all right, I'm gonna take this clip. I'm going to use it because it's all on green screen as well. So it's like, even though I put the background up there.
Oh, it's a green screen.
Okay. People use it for like videos. I mean, if you're into film, you know, use that, or, you know, even interviews. I mean, like, hey, this is a snippet of me. So I try to structure it that way, or even like, you know, other podcasts or, you know, news that you want to do. If you're putting together a lookbook or documentary of yourself, you know, use the content, you know, so that's, you know, I put it out there. Like I said, I can really get better at helping promote with the position I'm in to use my platform for bigger, you know, spotlight and really promoting. But, you know, I'm not going to do it, you know, all like I can't do that part. You know, if you want to use it, it's there for you to use. So,
yeah, I guess most people that I do podcasts with, they don't usually make their own clips. Some people have, some people do, but it'll be pretty much like I'm making the clip. I'm collabing with them. Sometimes people will use, like, I've seen people use clips, but it's like I always feel like they pick the most like weirdest part of the interview. It's like, I don't know. Me just doing this for so long and making so much stuff, I have a sense of what works well and what performs well and like what
traction you mean?
Huh?
Like the traction, the online traction.
Traction, or which clip is a good clip to go up. That's a good example of what the rest of that podcast would be like. Or,
gotcha.
And sometimes I feel like people will just use some like weird moments from the podcast that they could have picked a better clip. I don't know. But it's all like a taste thing. A lot of this is taste, you know? And you know, a lot of people create content and do their thing. And I'm not the only person to have a podcast. Millions of people do it. But it's about like, what is my taste? Like, what do I think is good? And that's what's going to set my platform apart from your platform. We all have different tastes, and you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's important, especially, you know, shout out to this moment right here. You know, is that, you know, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, but meet at the table and just talk about how we can utilize what we've done and our strengths and then, you know, make something greater out of that. So, you know, I think it really comes down to, again, that authenticity about just doing you, staying focused on, you know, your goals, not grading and comparing yourself to others, pretty much. You put in that work and then, you know, meet people when you need to meet them. Yeah,
you get on Instagram and TikTok and you just see everybody living their best life, and you start comparing yourself, and that's a quick road to depression.
Yeah.
Why does this person have millions of dollars? I'm
on vacation.
I'm eating ramen today.
Yeah, we all do it. I mean, it's easy to get distracted, you know, whether you're focused on things in your own life. It is like a getaway, you know, in a way, to like this kind of, it's not really false reality, but in the moment, you know, because you take like moments from other people's lives and just put it in the present, like, dang, I'm missing out, FOMO, you know, fear of missing out, like, you know, and kind of throws you off of your trajectory. So,
and then also you might see somebody that actually does have a successful life and they're doing cool things, but you don't see the 10 years of work or whatever it was they put in behind that to get to that moment.
For sure.
You know, you just see the highlight reel.
And I do appreciate when people do that, like talk about, you know, their journey, you know, even if it's not in the present moment, but going back and relating to people, because people are so bitter online and I mean, you know, you could call it talking shit, and sometimes talking shit goes too far, but like, you know, you never know who you're talking to. So even celebrities, it's like they're just people. So it's like, I mean, they just have what they have going on. But, you know, if you're able to connect and understand that you don't put these people on a pedestal, it's like, okay, yeah, that's attainable. Let me lock into what I'm doing, instead of like, damn, well, they're them. And I'm like, I can't, you know, access what is available.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, everybody's people, bro. Celebrities. Yeah. And I get why celebrities are or can be closed off and not want to deal with everybody, because I'm sure when you get to that level and you have like thousands of people like hitting you up and wanting something from you, and then a lot of people are hating on you, you kind of just step back.
Yeah.
Like you only have so much energy to give it. Like you can't sit there and respond to every comment. I think the way our brain works, we're only able to like have a community of, I think it's like 160 people. Like your brain is only capable of holding it and being connected with like a certain amount of people. Our brains weren't made for social media. Like we still have caveman brains. Like we've evolved so much with technology, but our biology is still the same as it was like thousands of years ago. So we're really not capable of like grasping and understanding this world that we're in with millions of people talking at once and talking to you at once. You can't keep up with that.
That's an important piece right there, and I'm glad you brought that up. Like, and that's another thing I've been looking at lately, like neurology. You know, I'm very invested and like interested in that. And I don't like, you know, all right, have a schedule every day, but you know, I do my little research, and it's interesting how the brain works, like sociology, you know, how people interact and get along. But, you know, that's a great point when it comes down to the overload. You know,
we're overloaded on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, it's like doom scrolling and stuff. That's a real thing. And
no, people are actually addicted to that. Yeah. I'm grateful that I've never really been a doom scroll type of person. Like, I get anxiety. I can't, even on my own, like when I get on Instagram and shit, I might scroll for like 2 minutes. First few posts that are up there, see.
Yeah.
And then I'm good. Like honestly, when I'm on social media, I'm usually looking at our content. Like I'll go to the Off-World page and might look at some of our shit and then get off. But I'm more of a long form content person. I'll sit down and watch like a 3-hour podcast. When I'm scrolling a feed, I don't know what it is, and I've heard somebody else talk about this before, in a podcast somewhere. So I know I'm not the only one, but I get this like low level of anxiety, like in my system from just constantly scrolling. It's like you're getting these dopamine hits.
Yeah,
you know that's what it is, bro. You know the documentary. What is it called? I forgot what documentary it was, but it was going into how these social media platforms were built and how they really focus on the psychology of it, and even the like swipe down to refresh. It's like a slot machine. That's how they program that. So when you're scrolling, you're literally getting these like dopamine hits. Like you're like
they pay people,
like you're literally addicted to it, like a drug. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they spend
even like not to cut you off. Money. Even like with they maybe try to find. It's called The Social Dilemma. That's what the documentary is called. It's on Netflix. But there's a study done, or they exposed this somehow. I forgot where it happened. Maybe you could find it, Kieran. One of these companies, or maybe it was all of them, they target young girls or young kids. They like know when you're depressed by off what content you're watching. So they target you when you're depressed with a product that you might want to buy because you're more susceptible to buying something when you're feeling down.
Gotcha.
And so like they really, bro, this shit is a fucking science. How they know how your brain works. They know how they figure out what you like, what you might buy, and they figure out the right time to present it to you so you can just go buy that thing. You know? And it's not even, it's moved past products to buy. Now it's about getting you to believe certain ideologies, you know? Radicalize you towards a certain thing, to make you hate these people or love these people or hate these ideas. So they use all these same principles of how to get you to buy stuff to how to make you think this way. You know, that's powerful. So powerful.
It's so subtle, man. And I took this class going back to school, the art of persuasion.
Yeah.
And I never forget them talking about this stuff, like, you know, the color psychology. And I studied like logos.
The colors. I think red. Don't say red makes you buy stuff. Like a red, like
I'm
a
not
sale
sure
thing.
the breakdown. I would have to look at my little sheet and stuff, but I don't even know where that's at. But you know, the like money that they put into, you know, just like I mean, it's just stuff that you like, especially when it's such an overload, wouldn't even recognize. But if you slowed things down and really paid attention to how things are placed in front of you, and you know, commercials from the sonically as well, you know, like the audio and certain sounds. I think it's like with scary movies too. They put like certain things that'll trigger your brain, which you really have no control over, you know, make you feel a certain way. And
they hijack your is your nervous system?
Nervous system, yeah.
You're like subconscious, where it's like the part of your brain that you don't control, you know? So a lot of these things, it's like you're being led into, or like you have no control over it. Like even the overload of information, that's a real thing. Like that's like the CIA and like different people do that. Like when there's like a current event that happens, part of like they want to create confusion. So the way to do that is you overload people with information. You put a lot of fake things. Some things might be true, some things might be false, and when you overload it, then people don't know what to believe anymore. So that's a tactic to like confuse you and get you off center, and then now they can lead you towards the direction they want you to go. Yeah,
you don't even have the time and space to like fact check. You know, when you're scrolling so fast, and then two, who's really taking the time out of their day? If you see something so quickly, you can probably take it at face value.
You're not gonna go do the research on it.
Exactly. I mean, people got lives, and then you forget about it, you know, which is already in your subconscious, but then you go about your day. And then
I see that a lot on Facebook too. Facebook has a lot of like false information up there. Like a lot of fake news articles, a lot of fake information. Studies have found that, and they just like say this shit is not true. Yeah. Like Facebook is full of bullshit right now.
Yeah.
And then my parents be on Facebook, and then, you know, my parents are, they're not as hip to these different tactics and these different fake things that you see online. So it's been a few times my dad showed me this one video. It was like a dude fighting a bear. He's like, yo, look at this dude. Like, he's going, it's AI. I'm like, it's AI.
Yeah.
I noticed off top it was AI.
Mm-hmm.
Like different things like that. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man, because it's really interesting how people will complain about it, like, but also interact. I mean, you really have no choice because, like,
well, I think you can interact with it and use it, but like be aware of what's happening.
Exactly.
Don't get too sucked into it.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, like I enjoy social media for, my brand and marketing. Like, but I'm also aware that it's like too much doom scrolling is not good for me. So I'm not going to do that, you know? Or like, it's like weed, bro. Like Jay-Z said about weed. Like, I love weed, but too much of it is not good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said earlier, discipline. It's about disciplining yourself.
And balance.
Balance.
People need to get back to balance. Because, I mean, I'm a fan of, AI, like, in the right way. I think it's going to allow people to, well, this is one point I want to make. People are complaining about it like it's going to take jobs, right? But not realizing how much money is out here. It's really just going to restructure the economy and how, whether it's money moves or your free time. But when you're in that train of, I need to do this, routine, getting out of your comfort zone is tough. So it's like, it allowed people to have more free time on their hands. Now, granted, you still gonna have to get you some money, but, it's gonna be different ways for people to utilize it and then allow them to lean more into their self-care, taking care of yourself, your, just the basic things that working 50, 60 hours a week wouldn't allow you to do, like your fitness. That's been, something that I've been working on getting back into, just really, taking care of myself as I get older. And, I think the AI will allow the space, to do that, especially when the information's there. It'll write you a business plan. It'll lay everything out for you to be able to implement whatever your trajectory is in your job or career.
I'll be honest. As of right now, I'm in the boat of I don't think AI is going to be as promising as they say it will.
In what way?
I don't think it's going to revolutionize the world like they say. I think these people that are saying those things are actually just at these companies, and they have to say that to build this hype around it to keep getting people to invest trillions of dollars into it.
So what do you think it just
They've been talking about AI
blocks?
for 2 years, and we just making fucking pictures and videos with it.
But see, that's the thing, though. It's like it's people behind the scenes that are getting very rich, not just off of the investment into AI, but like it's just how you utilize it. So it's like prompts. I mean, you got like obviously face value. What we see is like the film industry, people creating videos, which you got a lot of people shifting how TV shifted to streaming. Now it's like, okay, well, reels, it just comes down to entertainment. So, but when you look at the scope of AI from like a learning standpoint or from, just how it could shift the education system, how we lead to new things in terms of,
I think it'll probably make the education system worse.
Okay, yeah, I do want to have this conversation.
The reason I say that is because the technology up to now has made it worse. So my girl was a teacher for a couple years. She's doing something else out of school now, but she was like first of all, because I was at her high school the other day. It was like the teacher work day. Kids were off, so I was in there just eating lunch with her and shit. She was walking me around the school. First of all, kids don't even use their lockers anymore, which I thought it was crazy. Like they didn't even give kids out lockers. Nobody has a locker. There's no reason you don't have nothing to put in there because everything's on your laptop. There's no more textbooks, no more nothing. But she was like, she's noticed that the transition to laptops has made the kids worse. Like they're not learning as well. With everything being on his laptop. So I think when AI, like it's like when the study came out, I think from Harvard, for people that use AI to write everything for them, it actually diminishes your cognitive ability. It's like us when you have calculator. You have a calculator, so now you're not thinking about math as much. It makes your actual brain math skills worse.
Yeah, and
so I think it'll do that in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
If you rely on AI, that muscle in your brain will just kind of wither away.
Exactly, and not develop in kids, especially. I do think that there should be like age restrictions on, you using. Like, all right, say if you get to high school, then you can, it's obviously going to need to be like classes on, how to utilize it instead of it just kind of taking over teaching. I think the education system right now is already just kind of behind.
It's been behind.
Yeah, it's been behind.
It's been behind since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember being in high school like, yo, it's like you're not really learning what you need for
the real
world. I mean, we need to go back to, what is it, trade schools?
Yeah.
Like, why are you sending all these kids to these colleges for nothing?
Yeah.
When I don't know what the stat is, but a majority of people graduate and don't even get a job in that field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why aren't we sending people to school to learn skills and trades?
Yeah. But
I think college is a scam for most people.
Yeah. I like how you put that.
Like if you want to go be a lawyer or a doctor or like an engineer, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. But why are we? It's like so many different degrees that's just bullshit.
You're going in debt and you're coming out like, all right, I got to work to get this money to pay off what was supposed to help me do what I'm doing now, but I'm not reaping the benefits of what I was going to school for. It's like I'm just kind of working just to work, and that takes away from the passion. That was the direction I was kind of going. I totally agree with you when it comes down to the school system. It, really fucking up the school system and not really, it's going to hinder it before it helps. And that's just from the foundation of how things are in the rhythm. Because it's kind of like that age-old conversation about, Elon Musk or whoever could end homelessness or, world hunger. But you really have to, like...
You can't fix these problems with throwing money at them.
You can't, but I'm going to tell you this. People don't look at the foundation and the structure of, all right, so say he does that. That's taking a lot of money out of people's pockets because it restructures the whole economy. And so say if you take away, hunger, there are certain, subgroups of business and things that it would just totally shift everything. But you need plans in place to replace how the current state of the world is to have something new. That's
I see that, but I'm just saying it literally won't work. Look at California. California they raised the most money to end homelessness. They have the biggest funds for that, and they have the most homelessness.
So you know where the fuck up in that is, right?
I mean, the fuck up is in, from what I understand, the organizations that are like supposed to be ending homelessness, they're just pocketing that money, and they actually don't want homelessness to end because then they'll stop getting money.
Yeah, but that part,
you find somebody on the street that's doing drugs and stuff, like you giving them some money is not going to change their life.
Yeah, where do those people go though?
I don't know.
Because it's enough money for people to end it peacefully, get along and live, but that's not human nature. So it's like you have these people with all this money, people need structure. So it's like, hey, look, you're going to have people that have a lot, you're going to have some haves, and you have people that are without.
Yeah, and let me take that back. So it's not obviously all homeless people. There's good people of all kinds, and some people are just down in their luck. But they're smart people. They're capable. But a lot of these homeless people, bro, it's not a homeless issue. It's a mental illness issue. It's a mental illness and drug issue. So I think that is at the root of the problem. Like, what was it say? California has spent approximately $24 billion to $29.5 billion. See, look at that. Just that first sentence alone. How are you confused at how many billion? You went from 24 to 29.5 billion. Where is this money going? How much money is it? That's the point right there. It's just money disappearing. They spent that money on homelessness programs over the 5-year period and in 2024, yet the crisis has persisted or worsened, with over 181,000 people experiencing homelessness. You can't fix the problem by throwing money at it.
You can't, because those people have to go somewhere. It's like you give them a house. How do they fit into the economy? People are already talking about, it's not enough jobs. There are jobs, but are certain people fit into certain spaces and jobs? So it's like, it's not set up for people to have just enough, because you got greedy people out here. It's like, I want my jet, I want to take vacations, but it's like enough people can be fed, enough people could have the basics to be able to pour into themselves, but that's just not capitalism. That's not, the society's like, get yours or you're going to be left out. You got to find a way to get it, but we'll set up little programs that look like it, but people still eat off of that. So it's like, it's no real kind of solution. And that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, you got California pouring all this money, but how about the neighboring states? How about the, country as a whole? Like, how do you really, you got to fix the structure of the economy and really want these people to do better and fit into the system instead of, just kind of people saying it and, oh yeah, we need to do this. It's like, how does that really make sense? I think it should, but that's just heavy work for the people that have them. I'm not giving up my billions for somebody I don't know, or for millions of people. And that's going to fuck up my bankroll and how I'm getting money and keep money. People, you start touching them billions. I mean, you can, get a bit selfish with that. And I'm not going to say it's right, but understanding it, and just the structure of how those people that have the money move and stuff, that's hard to give up, So it's a, yes.
I mean, I think a lot of it could be fixed with what we said earlier is the education system. Mm-hmm. If we build a better education system that prepared more people for the real world once they finish school, things would be better.
Self-sustainability.
Yeah. I don't know. From what I understand, you can't fix the problem by throwing money at it. You can't just give everybody $1 million and expect everything to be good. First of all, that would devalue the money. So it's like, you can't just do that. And then people have issues that are past their bank account. So having money doesn't really fix that. Like, you might get $100,000 and you'll just blow it and be back in the same position. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah. Drew, anything coming up that you want people to know? You say you just filmed an episode today. Who was that with?
Yeah, Spaz, No Slime, Spaz.
Okay.
Shout out.
I know, bro.
Yeah, to that conversation. Yeah, we had, this conversation reminds me of what we talked about just with the area going to get it. But that'll be dropping this week. And some other stuff, I'm restructuring, the brand, and not from, people say they're all under construction, but like, I want to shift more towards, providing other opportunities through not just traditional interviews and media, but really, put my actions towards like providing other people to be able to, do whatever they want to do. Like in the community, the things that we talk about and kind of complain about as a community, not having certain things in place. Well, I want to put myself in the position to where I'm able to, whether it's money or just making room for the new. I mean, I'm 31. I've been doing this for 8 years. I mean, longer than that if you count other stuff. But in terms of the platform, I ain't gonna be doing this, forever. So you're
trying to pivot to your next thing.
Yeah, pivot to more just kind of sustaining Tidewater Waves, but running up this money so that I'm able to put myself in a position for other people to, like express themselves, and really add into the ecosystem. I want to get more into tech. I do want to throw some events, like you were talking about with the NASA thing, and more community engagement, I would say, and helping solve, our, not problems, but things that we have at home that we can, pour into to raise the economic value, provide people with more community events, getting to know one another, that type of thing.
Come on. Excited to see what you got coming up next. Thank you, bro. Always good talking to you.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you for allowing me up here. I don't do this often, but I can talk. So it's definitely.
Y'all gonna see me on Tidewater Waves soon, man.
Yeah.
Get that in. I gotta come to Slover.
Hopefully it's this year.
This year. We gonna lock in.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on.
Man.
Thank you, bro.